That's the lineage that I come from. This is, you know, some people are like, my dad was a doctor. I was like, my dad pooped his pants in a Ralph's. Hey, welcome back to Mythical Kitchen, where dreams become food and where YouTube comments become episodes. So today we're doing something based on one of your comments. Monette Moradi said, new segment idea, you take two darts, you throw them at a map, you create a fusion dish based on whatever two countries you hit. And then she also said that if you hit the ocean, you have to make a dish using seaweed, which I guess is representing for Manatee Nation, but I feel like we've repped manatees all we need to on the show, and I'm technically not allowed to talk about them anymore. The legal team's pretty concerned, but we thought that was a really good idea. However, I'm gonna put my own spin on it. Because the globe's spinning, but it's also an idiom. All right, so I'm gonna give this globe a whirl. I'm gonna put my finger down, and wherever it stops, those are the countries that we're headed to. Let's see what happens. Ah, manatee. And Philippines. All right, that's fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Filipino food. I've talked about it a lot on the show. There's a lot we can work with in that. First country up, Philippines. Let's see what we got in the second one. Brazil. We got the Philippines, we got Brazil, we got a lot of seafood, we got a lot of grilled meats, we got a lot of stewed meats, a lot of big, bright flavors. There is a ton to work with. I think we got this one. I need to brainstorm a little bit, but things are churning. Can we get some Brazilian liquor? It's called cachaça. I just needed to kind of lube it up, you know what I mean? All right, so I thought about going sinigang. I thought about going kinilaw. I thought about going lumpia Shanghai. I thought about going apritada, but when I think of Filipino food, one of my favorite dishes to make of all time, it's something that I make at least like twice a month. Why do I have beads on? Do we like these? And whenever I gesture, these bracelets click clack. Nicole, take them. All right, so what I'm saying is chicken adobo, one of my absolute favorite dishes. It is very simple. It delivers such a huge flavor punch. So what I'm gonna do, I got these chicken thighs right here. You can make it with any part of the chicken. Pork belly adobo too. Oh God, that's so good. Anyways, I'm going to salt up these chicken thighs and I'm gonna get them rendering in a pot. So what chicken adobo is, that's like the best sound in cooking. Isn't that the best sound in cooking? Soy sauce and vinegar are the two main things that are flavoring it. You tend to like simmer, and then the fat from all of those chicken pieces sort of like emulsifies in and creates this like thick, luscious sauce. It's flavored with things like garlic and onion and peppercorn. I add bay leaves to it too. So we're gonna do a palm heel strike an onion. Almost. So I'm gonna get an onion sliced up. The onion is great in any sort of braise because it like traps all the braising liquid in there. So what I'm gonna do, we got the Filipino part covered with the chicken adobo. The Brazilian part, we are going to make Cocinas De Franco. It is like a sort of fritter croquette situation that is typically made with chicken that has been boiled in like an aromatic broth. So I figured we could take that chicken and then replace that with chicken adobo. It's typically mixed with catupiry cheese. A lot of people in the States use cream cheese when they make it, but instead of that, I'm gonna try and get that sort of like thickness and lusciousness from using some garlic rice that we're gonna mix in there, because that is another like fantastic Filipino dish. Also, if you want the best Filipino food in the world, you gotta like play high school basketball in Orange County and then have someone's aunt bring you lumpia after the game. I have been to like, you know, the best Filipino restaurants in LA. Got a lot of love, Ma'am Sir, Rice Bar, Nane Gloria. No Filipino food is ever compared to someone's auntie bringing the lumpia after the JV basketball game. There we go. We're gonna take a couple garlic cloves here and kind of, there we go. Why? Why do I do the things that I do? I'm just gonna get like 3. Where did they all go? They're all gone. I palm heel strike them into non-existence. So, vinegar. Let's talk about vinegar in Filipino cooking. It was traditionally really important because it was a way to preserve meats. A lot of people think that chicken adobo comes from the Filipino kinilaw, which is kind of like a lot of people compare it to a ceviche. It's fish that's preserved in vinegar, flavored with coconut milk. That is an absolute banger of a dish. If we do this again, I hope I land on the Philippines so I can make more of those dishes. But then that translated into Filipino chicken adobo. The soy sauce came from Chinese influence, and it is really just a heck of a combination. I found another garlic clove, it was in the salt. There we go, that's getting nice and good. Perfect. Yeah, you can't just render dry chicken thighs in a pan, then all that chicken fat's gonna release, and chicken fat is gonna be one of the main flavors. Because for the cocinas, we're actually going to take the broth that's coming from the chicken adobo, and we're gonna use that to make a dough that encases the fritter. You'll see, this is gonna be such a rad dish. I'm super excited for this. All right, so the chicken thighs are nice and rendered. I'm gonna take these out, and I'm just gonna let them rest in a bowl, and then I'm gonna start toasting up the aromatics, getting things nice and sweaty in there. It's like how, you know, when you're nice and sweaty, you get kind of more aromatic. So we got that chicken fat in that pan. I'm gonna take these peppercorns here, just whole peppercorns, you know, palm heel strike them in the pan, psych. And then I'm gonna take my garlics, gonna get those sweating in there, and all these onions. There we go. You don't want to get too much browning on the onions. I don't want like a ton of that brown flavor. That's why I didn't take these chicken thighs too far. I just wanted to get the fat kind of start to working out of there. Typically, dude, I got garlic skin everywhere. Jesus, this is a mess. This is like a war zone. It looks like a C4 exploded. You ever like look down at what you're doing and just feel immense shame? Normally I don't, which is shocking. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna deglaze that with soy sauce, and then I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar. I'm just using white vinegar here. Typically, coconut vinegar and cane vinegar will be used in the recipe, but those can be kind of hard to find. So I'm adding bay leaves in there, which, as Nicole and I have discussed on our podcast, a hot dog and a sandwich absolutely do good things. And bay leaves in adobo, especially to me, is one of my favorite applications for them. What else should I do? Water. So I'm gonna take some water. I'm gonna add that to there. Ratio of vinegar to soy sauce. A lot of people do a lot of different things. Some people go 1-to-1. I go a little bit heavier on the soy to vinegar just because I don't want all that sourness. Honestly, your dish can handle a lot more sourness, I think, so I up the ratio of vinegar to soy sauce when I'm doing something like pork belly. But for the chicken thighs, since this is a nice white meat, I'm just going with 2/3 of a cup of soy sauce to 1/2 cup of vinegar. Now I'm gonna take the chicken thighs and I'm gonna nestle in there. And then we're just gonna simmer this for about 2 hours. A lot of that liquid is going to be gone. And then we're gonna get a lot of that nice chicken flavor simmered down in there. I almost took this like a shot and then I realized those chicken thighs aren't cooked. Salmonella's not a joke. Unless it's like really funny and someone like poops their pants. That's always funny. Pooping your pants is funny. I watched my dad poop his pants in a Ralph's grocery store once, wearing white pants and no underwear. Hilarious. That's the lineage that I come from. This is, you know, some people are like, my dad was a doctor. I was like, my dad pooped his pants in a Ralph's. This is cooking. We'll let that cook. I'll be back. See ya. All right, so we got the chicken adobo. This is finished braising. This is looking absolutely perfect right now. If I were eating this myself, I might reduce it a little bit farther, just slap it on some garlic rice. But for what we need right now, that is the perfect consistency. I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna use the broth there to make the coxinha dough, which is a very common technique with Cocinas De Franco. In Brazil, you take the liquid that the chicken was cooked in and then you actually cook the dough in that broth just to like give it more flavor. It is very, very cool, almost like a pata shoe. Annalise told me I should physically pat my shoe when I said that. I'm not gonna do that, but I want you to know that Annalise came up with that pun. All right, so we're gonna pull that chicken. We're gonna shred that in a sec. I'm gonna let it cool down, which is highly uncharacteristic. I'm gonna strain off those aromatics. We're gonna get that into our mixture, but for right now, I just want that sweet, sweet chicken juice. Why don't they sell chicken juice? Oh, it's called broth. I'm gonna take all this, what's it called? Barth. I'm gonna take all this borth, we're gonna pop that into the pot and we're gonna get that boiling. So the coxinha dough. One, what the heck is a coxinha? So a coxinha literally means like little chicken leg. The legend goes, at least, there was like an emperor's daughter who would only eat chicken thighs, and then like the court cook ran out of chicken thighs and was like, oh God, I gotta turn the rest of the chicken into thighs. And so we made like little thigh-shaped croquettes out of shredded chicken breast meat that was mixed with like some cheese and some other stuff. It's fried typically in like manioc flour. Sometimes there's potatoes in the dough, sometimes not, but I'm going with a strict wheat dough. Also, all food origin myths are absolutely BS. That never happened, but it's a really cool story. All right, so we're gonna start making this dough. I am using wheat flour, as it's also known, flour, and I'm going to start adding that in and vigorously stirring. No, slowly. I'm gonna add it in and I'm gonna physically mash it around to prevent any clumps from forming. You just gotta mash harder. This is gonna start to cook the moisture out and it's actually gonna firm up this dough. Then we're just gonna use our hands to create like little dumplings with some of the shredded chicken filling that I'm using later. There we go, just like a pate shoe. Everyone pat their shoes for good luck so I don't screw this up. Yeah, pat, I need to hear the pats, I need to hear the pats or I'm gonna talk about the time that I pooped my pants. I thought this was a really genius move. I was 12 years old, so way too old to do this, but my dad was making me go to the dentist and I was like, how do I get out of this? I gotta say I have a fever, but then I took my temperature and I didn't have a fever, and so like I just pooped my pants. And then he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I pooped my pants, I can't go to the dentist. And in my head, I don't know why that happened, but it did, and I got out of going to the dentist, and now I have terrible dental health. Is that a fun story? Now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna kind of flop it out on the table, and we're just gonna let it rest, and we get a little bit of flour dusted on there. All right, so there is our coxinha dough. We're just gonna let that sort of rest and come to room temperature. Now, the filling. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna take all these chicken thighs. They are just fresh and hot, love that. Woo! Oh, that feels nice. And then I'm just gonna start shredding that meat. I once had the head chef at an all-you-can-eat Brazilian churrascaria come out to meet me because he said that I ate more grilled meats than anyone has ever eaten in his establishment. Shout out to Gaucho Village in Glendale for the hospitality. And now what I want, there's so much flavor trapped inside this garlic and onion mixture right here. I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna mash that through the sieve right here to try and just get some of that liquid in there. Yeah, well, you gotta mash it. Most of my cooking technique is mashing, I've learned. They say that the several cooking techniques you learn in culinary school, what do you got? Sauteing, you got braising, you got poaching, all that. Nope, all you need is mashing. So now, Garlic rice, this is really simple, just sauteed garlic, cooked white rice in there with a little bit of salt. I'm gonna take some of that. Again, typically this would be made with a catupiry cheese, but I don't want cheese obscuring all that delicious vinegar and soy sauce flavor in there with the chicken, so I'm just gonna add some rice, and the rice is gonna help soak that up. We're gonna chill it down a little bit, and then we are gonna get that made into our fritters. No, you can see that. So we got the dough cooling, we got a mixer, we're gonna let that cool for a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna show you how to stuff cocina dough. All right, so we got our dough, that is cooled. We have our filling, that has cooled. No one has pooped their pants, to my knowledge, in the kitchen. Everyone check? We're good, we're all safe. So now we have to start actually filling our cochinas here. Cochinas come in all shapes and sizes. I'm gonna go with like kind of smaller, like some modest ones. I don't wanna go too crazy with it. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pinch off a little nubbin of dough right here, and I'm gonna mash it out. Oh, yeah, lube up your hands. Anytime I'm working with dough, I like to lube up. I'm gonna try and do it in a circular shape, and then we're gonna create this little cochina shape, the little chicken leg. Beautiful, we got little pancakeys. Now we're gonna take this chicken mixture, and I'm just gonna put it in there. And now we're gonna fold in shape and try to get that teardrop shape, which in my mind, I do not know how I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna mash at it, and then we're gonna see how it goes. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this shape. This one's a little bloated, might go a little smaller on the next ones. Beautiful, all right, we got one done. Now we got 5 more to go. I'm gonna keep rolling these out. Check back, go give yourself a check to see if you pooped your pants. All right, so we got all of our cochinas. These are filled and formed. I'm gonna dip them in this here egg wash. I'm gonna get them immediately into breadcrumbs. Traditionally, manioc flour was used, but we're just using breadcrumbs, and breadcrumbs are a lot more common. Then I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it in like a little pocket there so I can get a couple going at a time. I'm gonna do batches of 3 here. Remember to go wet hand, dry hand. Drop that in the breadcrumbs. These are looking gorgeous. These are, man, I love eating fried dumplings filled with things. All right, so we're gonna take these here dumplings, and we're just going to drop them in 350-degree oil very carefully. Fantastic, and then once they float to the top, you know they're a witch, and then you can burn them at the stake. So we're gonna get a couple more going, and they're really just sinking like logs, eh? They'll be all right. These are heavy and dense and really packed with flavor. What else do we want to talk about? Filipino whole hog barbecue. Now that's a fun time. You go camping down in Temecula with your Filipino friends' family and you eat a whole hog and do karaoke. That's a really good time. All right, these are looking fan-freaking-tastic. I'm going to take these out and I'm just gonna let them rest. Set up really quick. Look at her glowing. Beautiful. One more, out. All right, so we got our little cochinas made. These are filled with all that delicious chicken, adobo, and garlic rice. I'm just gonna plate them up right here, and we got a fun little dipping sauce going on. So this is some of that reserved braising liquid that you didn't see me reserve, but you gotta trust that I did, because now it's here. And I'm gonna take some Malagueta Hot Sauce. This is a pepper that is commonly grown in Brazil, and they make pimienta, the hot sauce out of it, and I'm just gonna add that to the braising liquid, just get it nice and spicy. Why does this bottle not? And we're just gonna add some of the hot sauce to the braising liquid, and there you have it. We have taken 2 random countries that we just spun a globe to find out. We got the Brazilian, Filipino, Cocinas de chicken adobo. I'm gonna take one, I'm gonna dip it into this Malagueta hot sauce braising liquid. Folks, we have found a new chicken adobo delivery system, whereas before, you just thought it was a fork and a spoon. No, now it is a delicious freaking croquette. And you see all of that delicious braised chicken inside there. This is freaking good. The garlic rice actually comes through really strongly. And the combination of this like spicy, fatty, aromatic sauce. We don't have to feed these to other people, right? Like technically, like I'm the guy cooking, like I don't have to feed it to somebody else. I don't want it. I want these, Ben. Don't make me. These are mine. I earned these. They're my. These are really delicious. I think we took the food from Brazil and the food from the Philippines and we smashed it together in one delicious fried croquette situation, but it's not my opinion that matters. No, it's art guy Lucas's opinion. So I'm gonna go feed my friends. Come on, come and watch. Lucas, you're on an episode of Cheaters. Are you cheating on your wife?
I'm not married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave. Anyways, do you want to try my cochinas de chicken adobo?
Yeah, sure do.
This is a mixture of Filipino and Brazilian cuisine. It's Filipino braised chicken adobo with the soy sauce and the vinegar.
Slow down. So I just bite one?
Yeah, okay, grab one. I would take the bottom of the sack and I would dip it in that there sauce.
And then do you want like a gratuitous sack shot?
I think that'd be nice.
Okay, cool.
Here, let me get underneath the sack, the dripping sack. There we go, and then right into the mouth. Oh wait, you know, I messed this up. You're supposed to hold that. What do you think?
It's good. I like it. Do I have to eat it out of this fork?
Yeah. I can kind of like jump it off this fork in your mouth.
Yeah, jump that. Okay. Wow, that was so much better.
What do you think, though? I'm really proud of this dish.
It's really
and I want
good.
you to be proud of me for being proud of this dish.
What's the meat inside of it?
Chicken. It's like a cow, but small and covered in feathers.
I'm just stoked for you in general. I just think this is great.
Thanks, man.
You did a really good job, specifically in your haircut today.
Thank you.
And
It's
your
new.
general temperament. You just seem kind of like chill, but like vibing.
Yeah.
Which I dig. Double dip it.
Please double dip. Now
Yeah.
no one can eat that, and you're a selfish piece of crap for doing that.
That's fine.
Ruin the experience for a lot of people.
Like who?
I don't know. Annalise might have wanted some. Annalise, did you want any? Yeah. She did?
Tough.
Lucas, thank you so much for being our taste test today. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time. It's always a pleasure.
This was
with you.
really fun. This was a short but sweet moment, and I'm gonna think about it for the rest of the day.
That's great. I'm glad that we could add some levity to your otherwise just terribly hellacious work.
I didn't say levity, but yeah, cool.
All right, sounds good. And thank you so much for stopping by the Mythical Kitchen. We got new episodes for you every week. We got new episodes of our podcast, A Hot Dog is a Sandwich, every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Come find Lucas. He'll give you a podcast right to the face. Keep tagging at Mythical Kitchen on Instagram under hashtag Dreams Become Food. Just like Matthew did when he made the ravioli trash pizza for my cookbook, the Culinary Brodown Cookbook. Matthew, that looks absolutely delicious, even though I know that you just dumped a can of Chef Boyardee ravioli onto a DiGiorno pizza and baked it all the way down in Australia. So I guess they don't got DiGiorno down there, they got Giorno, because it's backwards, because of hemispheric changes. It looks delicious. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thank you to Lucas. Thank you to me. I did a lot of stuff today. See you next time. Oh, we talked about pooping our pants a lot today. Do you have any stories about pooping your pants?
Chili's.
You pooped your pants at the Chili's.
You ever been to a Chili's?
That's the only place you poop your pants. That's what I would say.
Yeah, dude.
The Mythical Trucker Hat is literally the only hat I wear, and I swear to you I'm not saying that because this is an ad, so go get yours at mythical.com.